It is that time of year where people start to reassess how's work going, what to do over the next year, and sometimes the hardest part about leaving a job is figuring out how to get paid for the next job and how to get paid for something you love. To break it all down, we're joined by Jasmine Paraswaram from Creative Business Kitchen. Good to see you.
Wonderful to see you too.
All right, talk to us about how someone can identify when it's time to leave a job and what they should really be thinking.
Right, so identifying when it's time to leave a job is actually something like, you know, when you're sitting there and you're going, I'm a little bit dehydrated, it's probably a really good indication that you should have had a drink of water about 15 minutes ago. And the same thing goes for about time to leave a job. So if you're sitting there going, it's probably time, then it's probably time. So
identifying the exact problem that you're trying to solve becomes the next challenge, right? So it's one thing to say, I'm tired of this, but you've got to work out what you want to do next and find a way to make it pay.
Absolutely. And for a lot of the clients and students that I work with who are freelancers, but also small business owners, a lot of them, when they're thinking about, I need to do this whole thing solo or leave my 9 to 5 and dream of something different, they think, I've got to build the website and do the logo and make sure that everything is perfect. But a smarter way is to actually think about you in your business role at the moment, you where you are at your desk or in your cubicle. What problems are you solving on the daily with your natural genius that really could be better used or better put to use as a productized service or something that is more valuable for someone outside of that organization? And the great thing about that is that if you focus on the problem that you solve, people pay for problems to go away.
I love that. I particularly love what you said there about natural genius and understanding and trying to identify, how can people identify what their natural genius is?
Well, for identifying a natural genius, you really need to be thinking about, what are people knocking on your cubicle door and saying, hey, can you help us fix this? Or what are you the go-to person for in the business that you're currently in? If you are the spreadsheet wizard, you could create a business that is spreadsheet wizardry. But the great thing about doing it on your own is that you get to focus on that particular thing. And when you focus on that particular thing, you can create something which I like to call a diagnostic tool that helps these businesses understand that you're the kind of person that they need in their business.
Yeah, beautifully put. So Jasmine, what I guess are the key steps that people should be thinking about when it comes to building the tool? So first you work out what your genius is. What do you do next in terms of realizing how to make it something that can be commercialized?
The next step to working out how you can commercialize it is deciding which way can it be solved best and how can we open up that gap between where they are and where they want to be and show that we're the solution that fills that gap. So some people do, say, a spreadsheet. So for instance, if you are a wealth provider or you help people manage their wealth, you might build a spreadsheet that shows them that. If you are someone who is helping people work out their pricing, myself, you might build a calculator that diagnoses, well, this is how much you've been undercharging, and here's what we need to do to get to the next step.
And I guess focusing on the customer is number one, right? And if you're working for an organization, quite often that's a sales team's job. Often you hear geniuses say, I love what I do, but I'm not a salesperson. But you have to be, right? Particularly if you're trying to commercialize it.
You do have to be a salesperson in order to build a business. However, I would say that one of the most helpful pieces of advice I have been given and give constantly, I would say about once a week, is swap the word sell for help. Because as entrepreneurs, as solo providers, we're often thinking, how can we help make the world a better place?
So you're the expert, how can you help somebody?
Yes, exactly, because we don't generally go to generalists to solve problems. We go to specialists and experts. The great thing is, specialists and experts, if you've ever had a specialist procedure, they generally come with lots of zeros if they're a specialist.
Yes, particularly if you have a vet and a dog, in my experience.
Yes.
Talk to us about, I guess, focusing on the customer rather than just on the idea.
Absolutely. So an idea without a customer is just a bit of an idea, and I have had about 17 of those before breakfast.
Yeah.
But when we start to actually think about, well, what does the customer need from me? What could the customer benefit from me? It changes the narrative and it changes the way you think. So the three things that I would say is work out, are you helping them solve a problem? Are you saving them time? Or are you making them money? And if you can pinpoint which one of those that you do for them, then you're having a better chance of creating the right product to be able to start that leap.
And what about building a business system? What does that mean?
Building a business system is like understanding that the house cannot be built without the floor or the walls. You can't start decorating and deciding what rug or what couch is going to go in the lounge room without actually working out, can we do the foundations of that? So understanding that the business is a structural process, but sometimes if you're sitting there and you're wanting to go, I want to get out of this place sooner rather than later before I want to rip my eyeballs out, then you need to actually start thinking about maybe decide what the problem that you solve is first and then build the business around that rather than the logo or the website or the idea.
Yes, they're kind of the easy parts when you think about it, but given that you've got to work out everything else first. Jasmine, if people want to get in touch, how can they?
Absolutely. So if you would like to get in touch, head over to creativebusinesskitchen.com.au.
Awesome. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Thank you.